guys, and welcome back to your one room schoolhouse. If you are new here, my name is Mary Barfield and I'm a homeschooling mama to a first grader and a third grader. And today's video is going to be a review and a little bit of a flip through of The Good and the Beautiful, Field and Flowers. Now, for my youngest daughter, we actually split her off from my oldest daughter this year for science. The last 2 years we have done science together. So this was the first year they did separate sciences, and The Good and the Beautiful seemed to be the perfect fit for her. She just turned 6 at the end of August. So she's a little bit younger for her grade. But this fit the bill. It was short and sweet lessons. It's open and go. It's scripted. It was everything I needed when I'm juggling 2 different sciences. It was perfect, y'all. So as you can tell, this is going to be a very positive review, which I wasn't sure if it would be, y'all, because we did do the Bones and Stones unit. I actually have a review video on that. I'll link it down below for you guys to go check out. And that didn't go over well. Well, it was okay. It wasn't bad. It wasn't great with my youngest daughter. And I actually got that one specifically for her because she is, as she called, a dino nerd. She is obsessed with dinosaurs. So I thought she was going to love it. It was the complete opposite. She was like, this is kind of boring. I kind of already know all this. I was like, but do you? Because they're actually using the Latin name for some of these dinosaurs that you can't even pronounce. I can't even pronounce. So I'm wondering, I don't know. I don't know what it was that didn't connect with her on that one. So I was a little concerned because I had already purchased this for this year. I was like, I hope this goes well. It did, y'all. It went so well. So we actually did this for the first half of our school year. For the second half of our school year, we are going to be doing the Sparks and Stars unit. I actually think that's going to go over really well as well. That's all about space, planets, about physics, matter, you know, things like that. It's going to be kind of indoor hands-on experiments, as well as we'll get the telescope and go outside and try and look at some cool things in the sky. But I digress. Let's get back to Field and Flowers for y'all. So I'm going to tell you about the components of this program so you know what you're getting into if you do purchase it. And then what I thought I'd do is flip around the camera. We can kind of go through what a lesson looked like for us, what we enjoyed about it, things like that. So if you purchase this, you will get the parent guide, which has everything you need in it to do this lesson. You literally do not need anything else. They do share with you at the beginning a optional supply list if you do want to do some of the activities in here, but again, you don't even need to do those. So if you're like road schooling or anything like that, or you don't have a lot of space for a lot of books or a lot of materials, this is a really good program for you. The only other thing that it comes with is the big book of science stories, because The Good and the Beautiful is very loosely Charlotte Mason inspired. And so they really like the fact that they want to be literature based, if that makes sense. So a lot of these stories are living narratives about the topics that you're learning about in the lesson that day. My daughter really loved these stories. She loved the illustrations. She actually liked the storyline itself. It kept her engaged, and she's one that can easily become disengaged because she is my butterfly. She is flitting around doing stuff. She's my high energy kinetic learner. So this did the trick with the stories. They were just the right length. They were just the right amount of engagement. And then also a lot of the activities in here again were just, they kept her engaged because it was a lot of movement type activities. So those are the only 2 things that you will get or need physically. The only other thing that you will need to do is then download the free The Good and the Beautiful homeschooling app. Absolutely free. You don't even have to pay for it. You can go look at it now. You don't have to buy this in order to download the app. The app is accessible to everyone. And then in some of the lessons, instead of reading from the big book of science stories, it'll tell you it's movie time for today's lesson. And what you do is you get that app out, you scroll to the little hearts and hands section, click on Field and Flowers, and then whatever lesson you're on, and then you'll click up a video. It's high production, maybe 5 to 6 minutes, all about the topic you're going to learn about, really great quality and engaging. Again, not too long, just the right amount of time to keep my kiddo engaged and learning. And then you do some discussion questions or optional activities after that. I mean, that's all you need for this. It was perfect. We scheduled it out 2 days per week. Some days some weeks we only did 1 day, and that's fine because again, I was juggling 2 different sciences, so I needed to give myself a little grace on how much we were doing it. But 1 to 2 lessons for 15 to 20 minutes per week was perfect for us. One other thing, if you do have the budget and the space, I would recommend, if you can, getting this book as a great reference guide, honestly, for any nature or science program you're doing. This is D.K. Smithsonian's Natural History, the ultimate visual guide to everything on Earth. This is massive. I think this is about 10 pounds, y'all. Like, I lift weights and it's heavy for me to pick up. It's got everything in here. You got real life photos of all the things that you're gonna learn about in here. It's animals, it's plants. There's fungi in here. How cool is that? Oh, I said fungi and it literally, how cool is that? It went to the mushroom page. Look how beautiful that is. But especially for young learners who are so visual right now, this is such a good resource to have. So even if you're not doing this program, I highly recommend spending the I think it's $28 on Amazon, or it was when I purchased it. Spend the $28 and get this awesome book. It's amazing. It's heavy. Oh my gosh, it's like a workout lifting it. Let's stop rambling. Let's flip this camera around. Let's get into this and let me tell you what we liked about it so much and what a lesson looked like for you guys. All right, y'all, we are dealing with a setting sun, hence the shadows. I'm so sorry about that, but it's the best natural light I have. Hopefully we can get this done before the sun goes down. But so we have two components, like I said. We have the big book of science stories, and then we have the parent guide. So let's look into this first, and then I'll kind of bring this back in to show you guys how we would use it in a lesson. So in the beginning, and I'm not going to go too much into depth in this because I do have a full flip through video on all of the Good and the Beautiful Field and Flowers books that I have. So I'm going to link that down below for you, but I'm just going to do a quick pass through so you can see what this looks like. So here's the table of contents. Here's all the information you're going to learn about. There were 30 lessons in here. So like I said, we were able to do 1 to 2 per week and get it done in half a school year, and it was perfect for that. So we learned about trees, we learned about mushrooms and wildflowers, we learned about desert plants, water plants, different insects, pollinators. We learned about crustaceans, which was kind of cool. We learned about snakes, lizards, frogs, all that goodness, and fireflies. So again, here in this, you have all about the course, a lesson overview. They do have books that correlate to this if you would like to add more literature in. I did not purchase these, but I think my next door neighbor has these and she really enjoyed them. So definitely something, if you want to bring in more literature, you absolutely can get those from the Good and the Beautiful. Here's a list of activity supplies if you decide to do the optional activities. So they give it to you all in one fell swoop. A lot of these things though can be found in your home, like a toothpick, water, a globe, driveway chalk. I mean, it's pretty simple. Now, if you want to do things that are a little bit more intensive, when we're learning about ants, they're like, you can start an ant farm this week if you want to. So you could really keep this as high level as you want, or you can drill down as much as you want, which I really appreciated. We kept it pretty high level, again, because I was juggling 2 sciences this year. I was trying not to go too much, but if there was something she was really interested in, we would find more resources, videos, books, and we would dig in if we wanted to. But I like that it gave us that option. We can keep it high level, or here's some more resources, here's some more optional activities you can do to bring it in. Also, something to note, if you are a secular family, because I get asked this a lot because we homeschool for the most part secularly, this you can easily use as a secular family. The only bits that are religious are occasionally they'll put a line in here like here, let's find out more about these amazing trees that God created. Those are the only things that are in there that are religious, and I would just skip over there. I would just say instead, I would say, let's find out more about these amazing trees. And then I would leave that God created out of it. So there's no doctrine or no preaching or anything like that in here. The only religious portion is just talking about God's creation, and that's easy for you as the parent to skip over if that does not align with your family values. So I'm going to show you lesson 1 and lesson 2. So what I loved about it is that there was always this opening. Again, it's completely fully scripted, which I really like. It's open and go. That's huge for me right now in this season of life. But I really love that there was always an opening. Sometimes it was a poem. Sometimes it was like, hey, pretend you're, what if you had wings like a butterfly? What would you do with them? And like, have the kid flap them around, and it would just kind of get you into the subject. I loved that. And then what you would do is you would read this, an intro to the topic. And then next you would either watch a movie on your app, like I said, that you would download, or in this situation, you would have story time and you would read a story from here. Now, for us, I also really liked the supplies needed if we did choose to do the optional activities, which are over here. I would then know, okay, this is all I need to grab in order to prep for the lesson. Super easy. So the way each lesson rolled, you had opening, then you have, hey, here's a script that you can read to your kid to get the topic introduced. You either do a movie or you read, which it literally, I think, was every other lesson was movie, book, which worked perfectly for me and took some of the pressure off me. And then once you're done with that, then you would have discussion questions. So a little bit more Socratic method style, but also comprehension questions. And then the optional activity comes in at the end. So if you don't want to do it, you just say, okay, we're done with it after the discussions. If you want to do something optional, you can. And we would pick and choose if we wanted to do it. We would just kind of discuss, does it sound like something we want to do? If it did, we would. If not, no big deal. Now here is the storybook. I want to show this to you because I just really think this is so well done. It's so high quality. So Lucia's Christmas fir, learning about trees, deciduous trees, I think, right? Did I say that right? Wait. I think it's deciduous trees. We're just going to go with it, guys, okay? This was a long time ago that we did this. But you learned about cones and the fact that they had seeds in them. My daughter had no idea. She loves pine cones and she'll pick them up all the time. She had no idea that they were for seeds. That's how the trees spread their seeds. So, you know, it drops the pine cone, and when the weather is the right temperature, it's warmer, the scales will open up and then the seeds will drop out. I didn't even know that, actually. If I'm being honest with you, I hate to admit that, but I didn't know. I was like, that's so cool. So it's a living narrative story. It's an actual story, but it just has scientific information sprinkled in with really beautiful illustrations. My daughter loves this book. Like, I was like, oh, we're done with this. I'll probably sell it, you know, on Facebook or something. And she's like, not the storybook. I was like, oh God, really? I have to keep it? So I guess I'm not selling this quite yet. I think I'm gonna have to wait till she's ready to part with it. But as you can see, really well done, really beautiful stories. Just everything was perfect with this book. She loved it, y'all. But I think it's also that the content is what she loved. She loved learning about seeds. They're very outdoors right now. They love mushroom. They love moss, wildflowers, snails and slugs, crustaceans. She kind of thought this one was cool. Learning about how they outgrow their shell was kind of neat. Slithery snakes, ladybugs. Did you know that a ladybug is not a bug, it's a beetle? I did not know that until this moment, until I did this lesson with her. Dragonflies, frogs, etc. Fish, all the goodness. So we really enjoyed this. I love how simple it is, open and go it is, how beautiful it is. The information was short and sweet and held my young students' attention very well. There was a lot of kinetic and moving type activities that you could do. It just went really well with her, and I'm so glad we decided to go with Little Hearts and Hands, Field and Flowers for the first half of the school year. All right, y'all, I hope you enjoyed that video. I hope it was helpful to you if you are looking at Field and Flowers from the Good and the Beautiful. If you have any questions about anything I talked about in this video, you know what to do. Leave it down in the comments. I'm happy to answer anything you got for me. If you are new to this channel, hit that subscribe button. We'd love to have you stick around. If you did enjoy the video, I keep forgetting to tell people this. Give it a thumbs up, helps me out, lets me know what you do like, helps the YouTube algorithm, etc., etc. And I will see you guys in the next video. Bye, y'all.